Welcome to Soccer Daily from We Are Soccer. I'm Craig Hearn. Today, I'm joined by fellow We Are Soccer co-host Nate Janulis. Nate, what's going on, buddy? Lots of soccer to talk about.
Always lots of soccer to talk about.
Lots of soccer. All right, main topic is obviously Champions League. Champions League games yesterday, Champions League games today. Lots to get to. Wrexham won. We'll talk about that. We've got some funny news. Ronaldo's joining the WWE. No, just kidding. He's not. But he did take down a guy in the middle of a game and only got a yellow card. All right, why don't we start with games yesterday from the Champions League? Listen, Chelsea lose 2-0 at home to Real Madrid. It was a bit of a strange game. I got to be honest. It looked like Chelsea played with a false nine, came out, missed an easy. N'Golo Kante played extremely well, except for in the box. Not the man you want the ball falling to. Missed, I would say, an easy shot, at least a way to test Courtois. Could have been 1-0 there. Towards the end of the game, towards the end of the first half, Cucurella, I thought, should have done a lot better with his shot. Put that into Courtois there. Chelsea could have tied this thing up by halftime on aggregate score. Could have been 2-2 aggregate, 2-0 up in the game, Chelsea, and then they fell apart. Real Madrid do what Real Madrid are really good at doing. They hung on, and then, of course, they got the next goal. Nate, listen, we'll talk about some of the comments that are made after this game, but I actually was surprised at how well Chelsea came out and played, and then they fell apart and did, what Chelsea do.
I was surprised.
Yeah?
No.
Okay.
Reality. Chelsea's playing at home. They have nothing to play for. They threw it all at them. They threw everything in the kitchen sink. And the best that rendered them was a 0-2 loss.
Yeah.
And I got a question. I look at Madrid and I get it. They got some age squads and Benzema, Modric, Cruz, but they're kind of doing what they're needing to do. But with Rodrigo and Vinicius here, are they really the team to beat, in the Champions League? Because they've done it before. They've done it so much, and it comes. They roll up to these games kind of like, yeah, we've been here, done this before. It's on you to beat us now, and it's you kind of got to wonder if they could be in the final again. It doesn't. They seem pretty much unstoppable here.
I'm gonna give you a quick stat here. Listen, Luka Modric has been with the team now 11 years. Mm-hmm. He has won 5 Champions League titles with Madrid. Mm-hmm. He has, in the 11 years he's been there, missed the Champions League semifinals twice.
Yeah.
Twice in 11 years. Real Madrid, this year they haven't done so well in the league. They're way points behind Barcelona. Barcelona have run away with La Liga, but it looks like their focus for Madrid has been, once again, in the Champions League. And I don't know if they are the odds-on favorite, but they're pretty darn close. They're doing something right.
I might toss money on there. I get it. But City has the squad. They're going to lose today, but City has the squad. Sorry, there was a little background microphone issue, I think. But City's got the squad. Realistically speaking, that is on paper should beat them. But we all know that sometimes the paper doesn't add up, and sometime in form, being, having done it before, having the right chemistry of experience plus young talent can absolutely pull you past teams that on paper should be better than you.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Segueing to Milan versus Napoli.
Yeah, so yesterday, listen, Napoli were probably the better team, but I think it also comes down to AC Milan were sitting back. AC Milan planned on, listen, we're ahead on aggregate. We're going to do what Italian teams do. We're playing another Italian team. We're going to park the bus. We are away from home. We're up on aggregate. We're going to park the bus and let's get out of here. And they did that job extremely well. Giroud missed a penalty. He fluffed his lines on another one. Lucky for him, he got an easier chance and put that in the back of the net to go up 2-0 on aggregate, 1-0 in the game. Napoli, Victor Osimhen playing, finally healthy again, scored a goal to tie the game up 1-1, but they were down 2-1 on aggregate. And it was just no way back from there. But you're right. Listen, Italian soccer is a little different.
Did you see the stats on this game? I just pulled it up.
Go ahead, read them off.
74% possession, Napoli. For anyone who goes, oh yeah, possession wins you games. No.
Nope.
20. So that means Milan had 26% possession the whole game. Expected goals 2.24, which actually Milan was even with them. It's like about their XG was 2. Here's the alarming thing that really stands out. Total shots.
Yep.
Napoli 23 shots. Only 4 on target.
Wow.
Total shots Milan 6. 4 on target.
Unbelievable. and Napoli, they actually had a penalty saved as well. I mean, this was a game where AC Milan knew what they were doing here. They've done this before. They're sitting back. They're parking that bus, letting Napoli shoot, allowing only 4 shots on goal. It's a dangerous game to play, though.
Now, I'll say this. I watched this guy on the TikToks, if you've ever heard of it.
I don't know what that is.
It's a platform. Anywho, he did this whole egg crushing thing and who's going to win. And this was actually prior to Milan actually knocking him out. Prior to Real Madrid actually knocking him out, I believe. So he'd take 2 eggs with the stickers on them, bang them together, and the one that cracked is the one that was out. So coincidentally, Milan stayed up. Real Madrid stayed up. You want to know who he had winning the whole thing?
Bayern Munich.
No.
AC Milan?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So here's Nate's prediction. Ready?
Oh, my.
Bold prediction.
Go for it.
AC Milan to win the Champions League, coming over Manchester City, just like the eggs predicted. I'm going with my egg guy here.
You're going with TikTok egg guy.
I'm going with Tic-Tac egg guy. He seemed to know his stuff. The stickers are on, very secure.
As they say, that's a bold strategy, Cotton.
Here is the game-winning goal. You ready?
Yep.
One Zlatan Ibrahimovic, last day playing for Milan, scores the game winner in a 0-0 tie going waning hours.
That would be
ending his career.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, would it not?
Oh yeah,
you
can't write that script better, baby. You can't write it. I couldn't write it better if I was Disney Plus looking to do another season of Mandalorian, springed in with AC Milan and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Exactly. Listen, all right. So the games yesterday, I think they kind of went as we thought they were going to go.
I didn't think so. I thought Napoli was going to come back, but okay.
I had Napoli winning, but then after a couple of minutes of watching that game, you're saying, listen, AC Milan is sitting in.
You can't go.
Well, hold on. After 5 minutes of watching, you're like, cool, AC Milan are going to sit in. This is going to be a boring game. I'm changing my pick. AC Milan win because they're not interested in scoring goals today.
Gotcha.
But I did have Napoli winning originally because I thought, especially with Victor Osimhen coming back, Napoli's leading scorer, I believe Serie A leading scorer, hey, let's go. Let's do this. He's on form. He won't be there next year either. I figured they would get the job done. They were at home. And then, like I said, after about 5 or 10 minutes of watching AC Milan, you're like, boring, sitting in. It wasn't a bad game, though, overall. Today's game. So you've got Man City, who arguably got to be considered one of the best teams in the world at the moment. Even when they're having a little bit of a poor run in form, probably still one of the best teams in the world to get an A team, a B team, and even a C team that can compete in these championships and beat other clubs. Man City up 3-0 on aggregate, visiting Bayern Munich, who, Nate, if we're being honest, are struggling a bit right now with Thomas Tuchel, who's come on board. He is not exactly having a good run of form with his team. It's a struggle.
That's because he's been focused on one thing.
The Bundesliga?
Beating City. No, because they've tied a bunch of games.
I was say they've
beating City 4-0 today. So he overlooked Hoffenheim and skipped over that game.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're coming out. They're going to beat City 4-0.
Not quite the strategy I would suggest.
It's kind of like when an animal lays at the bottom of the ocean and allows his prey to kind of nip off them until they grow complacent, and then they eat them. Yes.
So you think? All right. So let's. I haven't done the. I should have gone back and done a little fact check here.
Fact check.
When was the last time Man City didn't score a goal in a game? It's been a little bit.
Fact check.
We should probably look that up because I think you've got to assume that Man City are going to score at least one goal today.
February 5th against Tottenham.
February 5th.
Where Tottenham won 1-0.
That was more than 2 months ago.
Yep, and it can happen again. And the EFL Cup where Southampton beat them 2-0.
I do remember that game.
Want to know what's in common with both those games?
Yeah, what? They're both what?
Both were away matches.
Yep, there you go. All right.
Both were away. And today is a
away match.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I think we can assume that Man City are going to score at least 1 goal today. So that means Bayern Munich now have to score 5 goals to overcome
I'm not
this
assuming
tie.
that. I just gave you two instances when they did. One of them being a cup match, which was important.
2 months ago. 2 months ago. More than 2 months ago.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
So they've grown fat and complacent. It's time to eat. It's time to pick. The Germans are lean.
There's something. Listen, if you're a betting man, and I am, I would not bet on Bayern Munich coming back to win this tie. But if they did, and if you did bet on it, you would probably win a lot of money.
Hold on. As far as I know, I don't think you could bet on actually the outcome of the match because that's how I lost money in the Champions League, the domestic one, the CONCACAF Champions League.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was betting on the team to go forward because they're up by so many goals, and they ended up losing by like 1. And I was like, all right, I'm still good. And I still lost like $20. And I was like, what the hell? So I would bet on Munich to win the game. I just don't think they're going to score 3 goals.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to overcome it. I think it's just going to be too much to overcome. I don't think Thomas Tuchel's had enough time with this team. I think there's been some unrest. Obviously, we know Leroy Sané took a punch in the face from Sadio Mane, so there's stuff going on internally they're dealing with. Sadio Mane was suspended for this past weekend's Bundesliga match.
He's back in the lineup, though.
He is back today.
He's back.
Listen, we've all been part of a team where punches are thrown and it happens, but you have a little bit of unrest towards that player and thinking, what were you doing? You disrupted our team. And I don't think Bayern Munich is in any right frame of mind to go ahead and beat one of the best teams in the world who right now, their form is absolutely stunning. They have been doing really well. I'm sorry. I don't think they can handle one Erling Haaland either.
Now
they've done it before.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
McKendo has handled Erling.
He has put him in his back pocket before. Yep. I will say that.
And
yes.
Without a De Ligt backing him up, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think it's a big. If the score, being all seriousness, if the score was closer, if the score was like a 1-0 City win or a 2-0, I could see Munich climbing out of it. They unfortunately, I think, really messed up for a good 20 minutes in that match and allowed in those 2 goals.
Yeah.
And I think that sealed their fate. I do think they might win, but I don't think they're going to win by a margin enough to get out, and that's going to be unfortunate for them. And we'll go from there. I do have a possible lineup if you want to hear about it.
Oh, let's do it.
From Sky Sports D. So it'll probably be very similar. It has been officially announced, but being it's from not like Bob down the street, but actually Sky Sports Germany, it could be somewhat legit. So they're talking about Chapo Moning starting at the 9, Jamal Musiala starting, as an attacking mid in the 10, Kingsley Coleman, Sané out wide right, Kimmich in the middle with Goretzka, Cancelo out left.
João Cancelo coming in and starting. Okay, I like that.
De Ligt in the center, McKenna in the center, and Pavard off right with Sumer, obviously in the net. So a little bit, I shouldn't say too much different from what they go with, but I think a bit of a change than what they had last time where Cancelo did not start.
Right.
So
he did come in, but listen, I still think that just Man City are just too strong in all areas. Now, it's going to be interesting. I'm more interested to see what Pep Guardiola comes out with. Does he sit Bernardo Silva, who absolutely took that game by the scruff of the neck against Bayern Munich and ran the show? He was nutmegging people left and right. He dictated the pace of that game. Now, does Bernardo Silva start in this game? Because don't forget, Man City are involved in a lot of other competitions, FA Cup, Premier League, that, you're up 3-0 against Bayern Munich. I get it, you're going to Bayern Munich, but you've got players who can fill in there. Does Mahrez come in instead? What does Pep Guardiola do? Does he play Haaland the entire time? Does he play him for a half? Does he sit him on the bench and then bring him in at halftime or around the 65th minute, depending on how the game's going? I mean, he doesn't need Erling Haaland in there. He could play Julian Alvarez.
So here's my opinion. Next match is your FA Cup.
Yep. Say Sheffield United.
They don't give a crap about that. There's this match. They care about winning the Champions League, and they care about beating Arsenal to win the league. So they don't have to worry about beating Arsenal till the 26th.
Yep.
So they got some time. Sheffield United, if they lose the FA Cup and everything else, they win everything else that I just outlined. the league and the Champions League, which would be the first time in history, that is an amazing year for them.
Absolutely.
If they somehow screw up because they underestimated Munich even being up 3-0, or underestimated Arsenal, because of history of them winning, and just win the FA Cup and kind of crash out of these two things, it'll be a disastrous year. So I think they go with a full, strong lineup. I think they go at Munich knowing that they're already ahead, and they'll sub at halftime once they get a lead. And I don't think they care about the Sheffield United match. I don't think that's even on their radar. I think reality is that they need to take rest guys for that match to prepare for Arsenal. If that's what Pep feels, that guys need some time, that's when they rest Ernie Haaland. That's when they rest, your starters.
It will be interesting to see who starts today, and if he does start Haaland today, you're right, Nate. He probably will rest him on the weekend against Sheffield United in the FA Cup. Hey, Sheffield United, you get a little lucky. Erling Haaland will probably be rested for that game, but guess what? World Cup winner Julian Alvarez is waiting in the wings, and he's going to come in and play against you. So, sorry about that.
It's at home. You're talking about a championship side. They're gonna play their starters this game, and they're gonna rest the guys that need rest. They might even play their starters against Sheffield, if they seem it's fine. But they're definitely playing their starting squad against Munich away versus Sheffield at home.
All right, let's talk. I think we've talked Champions League. Those are big games. 3 p.m. kickoff for that one. The other game that's happening today is Inter Milan against Benfica. Milan at home. Milan up 2-0 on aggregate in that one. I got to be honest, I don't see a way back for Benfica into this one because, again, Inter Milan, Serie A Italian team, at home, park the bus, good night. That one is done. No need to get on that one a little bit more. All right, another result yesterday. Wrexham Town win 3-0 over Yeovil. All right, Wrexham right now have set the mark for most points ever by an English team in any league. They are 1 win away from promotion. It's actually they could clinch promotion this weekend. Wrexham will now seal their return to the EFL for the first time since 2008 if they beat 6th place Boreham Wood at home on Saturday. Again, I'm not betting against them. I think it's written in the stars. It's Wrexham are there. Notts County have 2 games left. As we said, Wrexham up 4 points. They win 1 game. They put it out of hand. Done and dusted. Congratulations, Wrexham. It'll be interesting to watch the second season of Welcome to Wrexham when all this goes down. That'll probably come out next year. Nate, my question to you. It's been fun to watch Welcome to Wrexham this year. We've all followed along. We all watched it. We really got in. We got the shirts. We did a lot of great show. Absolutely very entertaining. We've bought into the club. We've watched the results. We've watched the games when we can. They are most likely going to be promoted. As we said, 1 win away from promotion. They got 2 games left to do it. They're going to get it done. Now, is it going to be as fun watching them next year? Are we going to pay as much attention? You think so?
I think so. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was greatly edited. I thought it was a great behind-the-scenes look at how things are run and how things are done. And I think they have a lot to showcase. Whether it was because they had a bit of an FA Cup run, they had a bit of a promotion type thing. And, from what I'm going to find interesting when I watch the show is what that actually means budgetarily wise for a club that size. They're also, I believe, remodeling the certain part of the stadium, I believe, was under construction or having to be remodeled. So that'll be interesting to hear how that was done because in season 1, they weren't able to touch that from what I remember because apparently that wasn't owned by them. It was owned by something else, if memory serves me right. They weren't able to touch it at that point for whatever reason.
Right, strange.
And so something happened, obviously, which you'll find out in the series, of how they were able to gain ownership or why. I'd probably touch base on why they didn't have ownership because they didn't really dive that deep into it. They were probably working on it at that point, but they'll probably dive into what happened, why they didn't have ownership for whatever oddly reason on that one end of the stadium, combined with getting ownership and remodeling it. And plus just the celebrity fame that this team has achieved. And I hate to say it's turned into a novelty because I don't want to say that as a to be demeaning to the people of that town and that area,
Yeah.
which is going to be some Scottish guy from Wrexham. What are you talking about? And like he's going to come like beat me up. Which
You mean Welsh, not Scottish. But
Welsh.
let's keep
Oh
Let's
Jesus!
keep going. Now you're gonna get the haters coming at you, but let's go. Keep going.
So this is where it's like, hey, when I was in Germany, I was asked how close I was from Texas and New York when I lived in Michigan.
Yeah. So everybody's dumb.
So, yeah, my bad. Yes, you're right. That was a slip of the tongue. Welsh. You'll have some.
Listen, I tell people I'm from England, and they say, "Hey, did you ever meet the Queen?"
Yeah. Well,
Like
James.
everybody in England's ever met the Queen.
James Retton has just fired me from the Jags. Just like
Again.
Again, but actually for something that probably makes more sense. Well, no, actually being a bad coach would render a firing too. Anyways,
You said it, not me.
yeah, true statement. Anywho, so it's turned into a bit of a novelty with a lot of celebrities, and again, not to be offensive from anyone in that area, because obviously it's not a novelty to them. They're very passionate about their team, and if you watch the series, you'd see that. So it's not to say that the team's a novelty, but for some American celebrities, it's been treated like as a novelty.
Yes.
You had like Charlie Day over there running around, who's part of Always Sunny, and so that makes sense. You had like Joey Harrington.
Yeah, Joey Harrington and his family visited. They took
Out of the
pictures
blue.
and selfies. Yeah. I mean, this thing has grown
Yeah.
just from us soccer fans to people who now are becoming soccer fans.
Yep.
It's helped the sport in this country grow
so
tremendously.
that's the positive end.
Yes.
For the American noveltyism, people
Yes.
are going there going, wow, I didn't know this game was this exciting. Wow, I never thought about this, because they actually get that atmosphere that you get at some American stadiums here with MLS, FC Cincinnati. Sorry, excuse me.
Something in your throat there, Nate. Yeah. No, show the logo.
Okay, so
They must be paying Nate.
yeah, they got to be.
Not really
No, but
sure.
there are some very good atmospheric stadiums.
Yes.
In MLS, so I'm not trying to take away from that. There are also some that are a little bit duds, but I think people are starting to see that, and that to me about is going to a home match or a live match in person is being a part of that atmosphere that you get, and it's starting to spread, and it's great. So
I really do wonder if once they gain promotion here, if people's interest will wane and kind of just taper off a little bit towards next season, because they're not expected to gain promotion next season. That would be extremely difficult, but if they can paint that picture or get close to it and tell that story of, hey, we're close to getting promotion, again, I think it would bring people more in. But
so what helps promotion though?
I mean, money,
helps
buying
money?
players.
So hold on. A team, and I get what you're saying. It's very hard for a team getting promoted to continue promotion if they don't somehow getting huge financial backing.
Yeah.
By it being a novelty, by them gaining sponsors, by them being able to market, unlike a lot of those teams in the United States, due to their celebrity status, that brings in more money. More money brings more players, better players,
Yeah.
brings in the ability to go promotion. So they might fast track promotion, not because they're dumping money into it, like a oligarch billionaire that, I don't know, buys a City or Chelsea and just like buys players for fun, but because they're getting more money due to the promotion and sponsorship and the fame behind the club because of the documentary and shows. So they could be on an upward trajectory, and I think if they're successful, the one thing that Americans like is if you're successful, you tend to gain more attention.
Weird.
It's
weird
very
that,
weird.
right? You find a lot of fans who just follow teams that won in the past and want to
so
be part of
if
winning.
This is a
I
team that's
get it.
successful and people kind of feel a part of it because they're because of the show, because of they're small, because of the notoriety. The bandwagon, I think, is a lot easier to jump on.
Yes.
So
the bandwagon becomes bigger and people jump on it.
I'm gonna put
I
on
agree.
the cheery sunglasses here and go. I could see a situation where they keep getting promoted like every year or two for the next until they're in the Premier League.
They would be 4 years away from the Premier League.
Yeah.
Comments online came in. Kind of hope there's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode in Wrexham. Having Charlie and Frank cause all sorts of trouble and ruckus.
They did
good
one,
comment. We'll see.
They did one in Ireland. Their last season was all about them being based in Ireland. And if you're that long running of a show, 16, 17 years, I've been a fan the whole time, you have to find new dynamics. Why not?
Why not tie the two together? Agreed.
And I think Rob
Agreed.
McGarry, whatever his name is, I believe he owns a house there, and I almost think I want to say that Ryan Reynolds actually recently.
Ryan Reynolds just bought a very expensive house, about £1 million, from what I understand,
from
$1.3
Philly,
million.
and I believe one of them does actually live in Philly. Not Ryan Reynolds, but one of
Rob
them.
McElhenney.
It does live in Philly. I don't think that's a far plane drive. I think that's 3-4 hours. I think that's the equivalent of him going to L.A.
No, it's. I mean, yeah, it's close. It's close. It's about 5 hours.
Dude, going to Seattle,
but it's
from Seattle to Michigan is 6 hours.
Yeah, it's.
That's my point.
It's the same.
It's like almost the same. It's almost the same flight for him to have to drive out to the West Coast for him to fly over there.
You're not wrong. Brooks joining us online. Hi, Brooks. All right, listen, we've spent a little bit of time here on this. Let's get to some of the other results. I want to give you random results of the day.
Random results
from the Malaysian Super League.
Malaysia.
I follow that league religiously, by the way.
Can't wait to hear about the teams that I don't know anything about or the players that know nothing.
Cucking 0, Pahang 1. What a phenomenal game between Cucking and Pahang from the Malaysian Super League.
What was that last name?
Yes.
Can you Google cucking right now, please?
No.
Why not, Greg?
Nope. Because bad things will probably
Let me
show
Google
up.
it on my work phone.
Yes,
oh, no.
I would not advise that. All right. Listen, there are 6 English League Championship games today. 12 teams in action. The bottom of the table and the top of the table are not 100% set, so lots to do there. A host of NWSL games also being played tonight. Our friend Chloe Ricketts plays with her Washington Spirit team tonight. It'd be interesting to see if she gets more minutes. She played 35 minutes this past weekend, did phenomenally well, making her debut. Again, congratulations to Chloe there. We'll see if she can get some more minutes and maybe even start a game. That'd be awesome. She is going places. There are also, just in case anybody's into it, 6 games going on in the Guatemalan Liga Nacional. If that's your thing, good for you. 6 games. I have no idea where you could ever watch those games.
Hey, Craig?
Yeah, hold on, Nate. Yeah, what's going on?
Jerseys?
If we put the word, if we put the letters FC behind it, possibly.
Yeah,
Cucking FC.
Yeah, can we find those Cucking FC jerseys? Order a bunch for us.
Yes.
I think Cucking FC is now the #1 jersey searched on the Waz channel.
Yeah, it might be. Apologies there, Cucking FC.
Why not?
Or not.
I think Cucking FC is gonna quite like the bump, the Wrexham type bump that they're now getting from the States.
And so they should, as they are Malaysian Super League.
Can we buy Cucking FC?
And make a documentary?
How much is it to buy Cucking? Can someone Google the amount of money it would cost for Cucking?
I am very interested. If someone would like to send us that'd be great.
Yes.
I am not researching
Just
that.
randomly look up
yes.
money Cucking.
Money Cucking.
And I really...
Malaysia money
Cucking.
Malaysia.
Because that's going to help the search. Malaysia money Cucking.
Search. Just go ahead and ask Siri. Don't phone, don't hear that. All right,
Can someone chat GP a story about Malaysia?
Yeah, someone can explain what that is to me. Listen, before we go any further, happy match day, because guess what, friends? There's a friendly being played today. It's U.S. men's national team versus Mexico. That's not friendly. That's not friendly at all. In no world, no universe is that going to be a friendly match. It is going to be no holds bars. It's considered a friendly. Anthony Hudson's in charge. He has a lot of MLS-type players. He has a lot of new players who don't have a ton of caps. Don't care. It's going to be all-out war. It's going to be in Arizona tonight, 10 p.m. You can watch that game on TBS. Listen, the both federations, the U.S. Federation, the Mexican Federation, have already come out and said, listen, hey, fans, Mexican fans, stop with the chanting. Stop with the vulgar chanting. That's already come out, so you know that's now going to incite. Most of that stadium, I think it holds like 65,000. You know most of that stadium is going to be Mexican supporters. That's just the way it is. Welcome to the west side of this country, and when the Mexican national team comes, they get followed in droves. Nate, this is going to be an interesting game. I think we had this discussion, Brooks and I had this discussion on the Sunday night show. I think this game means more to the Mexican team than it does to the USA team, who do not have a full-time coach yet. Anthony Hudson still in charge as an interim manager. I think it means more to the Mexican national team than it does to the USA, but only slightly more.
Well, I would have to agree with you because on the simple fact that they've been basically pimped out of every competition that they've played, and they kind of got to start somewhere, right? So they've been struggling, if you will, against USA in general.
They really have.
And they have, historically been the more dominant of the federations here, but haven't been so far, so we'll see what happens. From a player standpoint, I'm just excited to see some new faces, if you ask me, because that's what friendlies are all about, because they don't mean anything.
They really don't, but one name you and I talked about before the show started here was Brandon Vasquez.
Yes.
Who's
he play for again?
Yes, FC Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
Yes, FC Cincinnati.
Yeah. Who?
Brandon Vasquez. He won't be there long. He is doing that well. There are European teams
Matt
looking
Mazinga
at
as well.
him. Matt Miazga.
Mazinga. I like Mazinga.
But yes,
Can I go
I'm
with Mazinga?
interested to see Brandon Vasquez, who is pretty much a dual national, had the choice between going to play for the Mexican national team and the U.S. men's national team, and he picked USA. He has not heard from anyone at the Mexican Federation or any of their players. They have kind of blackballed him, I guess you could say, and said, nope, we're not going to talk to you anymore. You're cut out. I guess that's appropriate, but listen, everybody should be friends, but apparently once you join your rivals, friendship goes out the window. I'm interested to see Brandon Vasquez bring the heat tonight, and I hope the Mexican national team does not exactly
to me, there's
kill him.
To me, there's two stories here. One's the Vasquez story.
Yes, sir.
Because of that, and him openly coming out saying, hey, I haven't heard from them at all, so, I consider my time here, blah, blah, bblah. And outside of all the, like the Aiden Morrison, who will be nice to see him out there and see what he does, I think the other big story here is the Mizaga story, the Matt Mizaga story.
Yep.
And because of what he came out and said, now I know everyone's all, oh, you just like Cincinnati. Calm down. It's what he said, and it was, I think, kind of truthful, where he was like, hey, I was just basically politically groomed out. I was involved, and then all of a sudden not involved and not called up. And, I'm relishing the second chance here, but according to him, it was more of a political reason on why he wasn't called back in. And I do remember him playing early on in some of these friendlies, and the last time I think he played was against Mexico in a friendly, and I do remember him doing well, and I do remember him doing some of the stuff you want to see as a center back, which is kind of getting dirty, getting in the minds and faces of the other players.
Yeah.
The famous picture of him, going like this, you know what I mean? And it was like, well, why did he go away? Like, why did... Yeah, he was part of this, for a minute.
I mean, it was a Berhalter decision.
Yeah,
obviously.
and that's what he
Berhalter
said. He said
has his favorites, and it wasn't one of them.
He said it was a politically motivated decision, and he wants it. He's happy to be back. But I think that's the other story here, only because of him coming out and basically saying that it was part of this rotation under, was it Sarajin or the interim coach before? He was part of the rotation and being called in, and then all of a sudden, as soon as Berhalter came in, his phone didn't ring.
And again, that happens with every coach. Every coach has a certain style, tactic, and formation they play, and certain players who fit into that. And obviously, he didn't fit in with Berhalter. But I again, listen, in my opinion, he's a good player. Is he a great player? A Pulisic, a Reyna, a Turner, a Walker, one of your elite players? No. But I'm glad to see him back. One of the things I really like that Anthony Hudson has done is he's brought players in like Miazga. He's brought players in like Vasquez. He's brought players in and said, listen, these are friendlies. Let's play you. Let's get you in. Let's see you in the camp. Let's talk. And that way, when an official coach is brought in, we will have notes on you. We will have seen you play. We've got film, and that coach can then make their own decision. So I do like that.
Yeah, and I think those are the two stories of the game. Vasquez for having to go out there and prove to Mexico basically like, you guys made the wrong decision. You guys should have been calling me.
Yeah.
Haha. Yeah. And Mazinga, Matt coming out, double M coming out and basically saying you made the wrong decision, U.S. Federation, for not calling me in. Yep. So to me, those guys are the two biggest guys with chips on their shoulder. Yep. And I mean, it's going to be good to see other guys like the Aiden Morrison, James Sands back in there. I thought we were done with Yuval, but apparently he's back. Cade Colwell, and to me, that's what these friendlies are all about, is seeing names of guys you don't normally see going back in to see what they can do.
Absolutely. Again, that game, 10 p.m. kickoff from Arizona. That can be found on TBS. All right, Nate and everybody watching, a host of news to chat about today, but we've picked up 2 topics. All right, listen. In a game, I think it was yesterday, there was a WWE outbreak in the Saudi Arabian League, and one Ronaldo decided to headlock a player in which Ronaldo only received a yellow card. Here you go. He did this in the middle of a game.
Wait a minute.
Took this guy down from behind and only received
I'm sorry here. Wait a minute. Again, Craig, this is where I have to take issue. This is a still shot. If you put it back up there, I'm not sure what's going on here. It could be various things. You're claiming it's a headlock. I can think of numerous items going on here that maybe might not be what you think it is.
Well, I can tell you what happened. Let me give you what happened.
Maybe he was trying to catch him because the guy was falling forward in danger. Or,
he was trying to help him.
He was trying to help him, yes. And he was maybe he was giving him a hey, good job, sportsman thing. Hug, if you will. He could have been choking.
He could have, and maybe he was doing the Heimlich a little wrong.
Again, I have to take some.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have the rights to show you the actual film, but I can tell you Ronaldo was running with the ball. That player got in front of him.
Got it, and
Ronaldo
tripped.
Lost the ball.
And Ronaldo friendly grabbed him to make sure he didn't hurt himself.
Or
the man's
did that and took him down to the ground. And as if you could see his feet, Ronaldo's feet in that picture, he is off the ground and jumping.
I mean,
it was only a yellow card. WWE is now owned by a Saudi Arabian oil conglomerate guy, and I think he's just bringing his product into that. Just an FYI, that game, Al Nassr, who Ronaldo plays for, lost 2-0 to Al Hilal. Their biggest rivals, Al Hilal, have made a huge offer to Messi. And we could be seeing this happen again next year.
What was the name of that Malaysian team?
Cucking FC.
Do you think Ronaldo will have to play Cucking at all?
I think he's done that before.
FC.
FC.
This is the greatest name of a team you could have found ever.
Yes, Malaysian. Premier League.
Yes. What is in Cucking is ranked what now?
Oh, I have no idea, but I can tell you from our research.
Yes.
Cucking FC is valued at 2.26 million euros. According to the transfer market, I think we can pool.
We can make this happen.
Yeah, we could pool the WAS funds. And I think we could. We've got enough money in there.
There's no way. We could do that. There's no way Ryan Reynolds would not want to jump on a team called Cucking FC.
And make a documentary.
Help make a documentary.
Which could bring in
I will
hundreds
email
of dollars.
Ryan's people as we speak to ask if they want to make a documentary about Cucking.
Yes.
FC.
And
I'll see what they come back with.
Yes. Let us know what you find there, Nate.
Yes.
Other interesting
Weird, I'm being
news
flagged
yesterday.
For harassment.
Chelsea defender Thiago Silva has urged the club's owners to stop with the indecision and put a new strategy in place after they were knocked out of the Champions League by holders Real Madrid on Tuesday. He said this in regards to their transfer strategy. He said, listen, stop with the indecision. You've got to come up with a strategy and move forward. It's not very often you hear one of the players tell the owner and the club, stop this. The indecision is killing us. Your strategy is not good enough. Thiago Silva, you're just saying what the rest of us have been saying for months now? Throwing money at random players and bringing them in, it's not going to work. I mean, you're probably going to get hauled in front of Todd Clown Bowley and whipped or just absolutely hair-dried because, you can't say that. He is the business owner and the boss.
I have an idea.
Let's hear it.
I have an idea. For Mr. Bully, who I'm sure listens to this.
Oh, yeah, we see the stats.
Hashtag Bully.
Yeah, hashtag Bully. He's on WAS.
The algorithm will pick it up next time it Googles. Anywho, every time he gets that urge to buy a player, because it seems to be like this compulsive disorder, and I understand that, people have disorders. It's limiting. So every time he gets this urge to buy a player, he should then just invest in Cucking FC, the WAS Cucking FC Malaysian team, and we'll be there within a year.
I mean, that's a great idea. We will present that to not only Ryan Reynolds, but also to Todd Bowley, all friends of the show. All right, guys, listen, lots of soccer to be watched and played today. Do us a favor, jump on the We Are Soccer group, the Facebook group. Talk about it. Let us know. We will be talking about that USA-Mexico friendly that's being played tonight, 10 o'clock on TBS, game from Arizona. We'll be talking about it. Hopefully you're watching it and jump online and talk about it too. Nate, I think we're going to have to make this a weekly banter show. I love the idea. I think it's fun. Thank you for joining today, buddy. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure as well.